I'd like to thank you all for coming today, and especially for getting up early on the last day of the conference in this beautiful, beautiful city. I am going to talk to you about the Tools of Engagement project. Our tagline for the project is On-Demand Discovery Learning Professional Development. And this is a project that is instituted through the State University of New York system. It's a public institution that has 64 campuses throughout New York State. My name is Robin Sullivan. I am an online learning specialist with our Center for Educational Innovation and also an instructional designer. If you need to look me up at UB, you need to put in Roberta. That's my full name. Robin is a nickname that everybody calls me. So the goal of the Tools of Engagement project, we call it TOEP, is to encourage faculty and staff to explore and reflect on the use of freely available emerging technology tools to enhance tech-infused pedagogy. And I'll tell you a little bit about the project. It is online, so it is a publicly available website. You all have a card at the end of the aisle that gives you the address for the website so that you can go and take advantages of all the resources that we have compiled on the site, share it with the faculty and anybody at your campus that might be interested. And everything on the site is Creative Commons license, so you are able to reuse it as long as you provide attribution to the TOEP design team. It's on demand, so it is available 24/7, any day, any time, whether you're up in the middle of the night and have an urge to learn, or you're on the plane home. Some of you have a long ride home, so you might want to go in and brush up on your technology knowledge. And so it's on demand. It's convenient, and it's discovery learning. It's not a prescribed website where you have to go through step 1, 2, 3. It's not a course that has a specific path. You go in and you pick and choose the process and the information that you're interested to learn about. A big part of TOEP is our social network. So we have a Google Plus community that is connected with the project. It's a community of practice, like was mentioned in our presenter yesterday. And so we have faculty and staff from throughout the 64 campuses of SUNY that are participating, and they are communicating and sharing information and the reflection about what they're learning and how they're using these tools to enhance their instruction. It's a focused project, so there are couple billion web tools out there. Learn about some new ones even this conference. So what we've done is we've tried to take the large number of tools that are out there, break them down into some large Web 2.0 types of categories. So I'll talk about what those categories are, but audio, video, blogs, wikis, etc. And we've narrowed down to about 2 or 3 of the most popular tools, the ones that seem like they're sustainable and stable, and shared information about those tools, what they are, curated down to find some of the very best tutorials and some of the research literature that goes along with them, and posted them on the site. The underlying principles of Tools of Engagement is that it is a lifelong learning endeavor. So as we all know, in order to keep up with technology trends, things change from this morning till this evening, and you need to be able to go out and learn what you need to learn. You need to keep pace with technology's evolution, and you need to be able to understand how to find solutions to the problems and the objectives that you're trying to achieve. Why do we need the Tools of Engagement? Well, earlier trends in education, there was the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Today, 21st century learners focus on the 4 C's, communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. So all of the tools that are up there on the web help students communicate and share information and work together to create new knowledge instead of just absorbing that knowledge. These are some of those Web 2.0 categories that I mentioned. So if you go to the site, and I'll give you a demonstration of it in a little bit, these are the major categories that we have the site broken down to. I'll read some of them off. Audio, video, presentations, mobile apps, collaborative spaces, photo sharing, blogs, wikis, and you can see a few others there. I'll give you a quick tour of the site, but as I said, there's the cards on your table that you can go to the site and check it out at your leisure. The URL is suny.edu/TOEP. The original name for the project was Tools of Engagement, and then when we wrote the grant and had to come up with an acronym, we said TOE, and so we didn't want to do that. So for you to remember the project now, you can look at your big toe and say, okay, suny.edu/TOE, and put a P on the end of it. This is the home page, and there is a short little video on the home page, just a minute long, so if you wanted to share information with a colleague, you can point them to that site and to that short video. It gives you a 1-minute synopsis of what I'm saying here. You can go and participating campuses can join the TOEP community, and I'll talk a little bit further about that. Along the left side there, you'll see the discovery activities. So the first thing that a participant does when they come to the site is they participate in the lifelong learning activity. That section has information about instructional design models, some pedagogical terms, just about what it means to be a lifelong learner. And so you go through that activity, and then there is kind of a little homework assignment. Faculty come to our campus, and many times they are content experts, but they don't have a lot of experience in relation to the pedagogy. So they would go to that section, learn a little bit about some basic ideas, and then go into the social network community and post a reflection about something that they learned in that lifelong learning section. Other topics that are included in lifelong learning include information about Creative Commons, your digital footprint, accessibility for Web 2.0 tools, and also open educational resources we just added to the site. So they can reflect on any one of those things that they've learned or discovered in their post in the community. This page is showing the photo sharing section of the site. So every section starts out the same and has a little bit of an introduction. What is photo sharing? Then it goes down to say how does photo sharing enhance teaching and learning? So we're a little specific. We then go down and include a section on discovery resources. Those discovery resources are where you would see all the tutorials and the links directly to the tools. In the presentation section, we've highlighted Google, Prezi. We just added, I think, the Office 365 suite to that. The mobile app is freely available. A little further down each page, you then have a discovery exercise. So this is where you're asked to do hands-on activities. Find one of the tools or a tool that's related to that category and create an account. Do something with one of those tools, and then go into the TOEP Google Plus community, share a reflection with the other faculty and staff that are in there. Once you do that, you come back to the site and you claim a digital badge. Those digital badges are like a certificate of accomplishment, and they're a new trend in education. They can be linked from your LinkedIn or your other social networks to say, I have taken steps to improve my knowledge about audio, video, or whatever badge that you've earned. There's also badges for completion of the full requirements. Probably the most important section on the site is down at the bottom. What does the research say? We've had librarians on the design team who have narrowed down to a few of the articles about how is photo sharing used in education, and some of the research and studies that point to that. This is a grab from the social network community. It's in Google+. So you can see that we have one of the faculty talking about how she integrated Google Docs into a lesson that she did with her students. Then we have fellows that are supportive of their local campus participants who are in there kind of encouraging, asking questions to go for deeper thought, the same way you would if you're running a discussion board in your class. Students will make an initial post, and then the community and the fellows will try to get a deeper conversation. And then somebody might share, oh, well, did you know that this tutorial will help you learn this aspect of it? So it's a really rich conversation. The social network has really grown more than we expected when we started the project. We knew it was a method for reflection, and the very first year we offered it, we're actually in our 4th year right now, the first year we offered it, we used blogs for reflection, public blogs. We got some feedback that the faculty were not comfortable saying, I don't know something and I'm making mistakes and in a public forum. So we changed to the private Google Plus community. That became very rich, and there's a lot of much more interaction because it's meant to be interactive as compared to the blogs were more individual. We took a copy of all of the text from one of the years of the community conversations and made a word cloud. A word cloud takes the words that are used most often and shows them at a bigger size. We were very heartened to see that students and learning were the most often used words in the community, not the technology tools. We try to keep the conversations focused on the pedagogy. So what's in it for participants? Why are they taking time to be involved? For one, there's on-demand resources. They can improve their teaching and learning knowledge regarding instructional technologies. They have opportunities for reflection and sharing. They're sharing across disciplines, across campuses. We have community colleges, we have research institutions, and everything in between. And there's also an annual incentive award period. So that might be part of the motivation. That's part of the studies that we're trying to do. How much does those motivation actually matter? The digital badges don't have any monetary value. We're trying to figure out how much motivation they have. About 94% of the participants that claimed their badge put them on their LinkedIn profile. Many might not have even known they had a LinkedIn profile before they started this. We also have some professional development funding. So at the end of each academic year, we have a peer review voting process. So all of the participants go in and say, oh, well, John or whoever had the most innovative ideas about how to use technology tools in their teaching and learning. I'm going to give them a vote. And then we have a small pool of money. The first couple of years we were grant funded. This year, this is the first year that SUNY has funded the project along with some campus fees. And so that funding is then given out in small professional development awards to attend conferences or workshops through our main SUNY center. $300 awards go out to a few people. We also have some peer support awards. So we also have that voting process, who's the best peer support in the community. Those are smaller awards through iTunes cards to maybe purchase some of those pro licenses that they found. So if you're not from a participating campus, don't worry, you can still complete all of the TOEP activities. Like I said, it's a publicly available website, all the resources are there. The only thing you won't be able to do is join that private Google Plus community or earn the professional development incentives. There is a way, if your campus is interested to participate, I'll talk about that at the very end of the presentation. One of the great awards that we were given recently, if you're familiar with the New Media Consortium Horizon Report, TOEP was cited in there as an example that addresses faculty digital literacy. So it's a great honor. Some of the data, part of the grant funding was through our provost office, and a requirement of that funding was to do assessment. What are we doing? Is it working? How to make it better each time we offer it. So we did note that 85 of the respondents reported that the activities helped them learn about the tools and their utility. The impact of the project, as of this past December, we had about 11,000 unique visitors to the site, and we awarded a little bit more than 750 badges, and we have, I think as of this morning, there's about 460 members in the Google Plus community. So you'll notice there is a discrepancy. Not everybody that takes advantage of the site is becoming a member and being part of the community. Some people just are not interested in that way, and then also as our team presents the project, many people find out about it, and hopefully it becomes a well-used resource. This graph is from Google Analytics, and it just shows the activity in the project. You can see these yellow sections. Hopefully you can see them from the back. Those are when we have the incentive award period. So just a quick visual shows that there is a little bit to the fact that when we have an award period, there's also fellows who are recruiting and promoting the project at that time. So we're trying to figure out how do we separate that. I did notice that the last summer that we were not active is not on this graph. The site is getting a little bit more traffic, so that's a really good thing. You can also see that people are in there for about 3 pages a session, 5-minute average. So those are pretty good numbers. We've done some analysis using the concerns-based adoption model. Concerns-based adoption model is got about a 40-year history of trying to analyze the concerns, attitudes, and beliefs on how the innovation is being adopted. And it has a survey assessment that tries to measure 6 different levels. The first level, informational, is kind of just the very basic. They just want to know more information about the tool or the innovation. It goes up to personal management. Consequence is a little bit higher level. How is this going to affect my students? Collaboration, I'm looking to share my ideas and my work with others. And then also refocusing. I know about the tool now, and now I want to refocus how I can use it at a deeper level. This is one of the graphs that shows some of our results. And the green is the pre-survey, the red is the post-survey. And you can see that the need for information decreased from the beginning of the project, the beginning of the academic year to the end. And the desire to collaborate with others to learn more about these tools has increased. This is a slide that shows, since we're in our 4th year now, we're getting repeat visitors. And last year there was about 1/3 of the people in the community that were there for a second time at least. Even the people that were in the community a second time are still showing a change in the level of concern they have in adopting the tools. This is called a badge constellation. It just shows the kind of the picture, the flow chart of how the badges are laid out. You get first place for being selected among the peers for having innovative ideas on using technology tools. Peer support is also up there. And then everybody needs to do the lifelong learning section. And then another requirement of the project to get the mastery badge is to pick 3 of those big categories. If you do lifelong learning, 3 categories of your choice, and a summary post, you'll then get the mastery badge. So, can any campus participate? We are having a call for new campuses to participate that will be released this spring. If you go to the website in the presentation section, you can get here, and that link will take you to the draft of the call that we have out there. We're still kind of working on some of the details. But basically, SUNY campus has a lesser cost, but a non-SUNY campus that's interested to participate would be able to pay a $1,000 fee, and then all the faculty at your campus could be involved in the community and involved in the incentive process. $300 of that fee also goes back to whoever is selected at your campus to be a TOEP fellow. So it might be the instructional designers, it might be the support staff, it very often is a savvy faculty member who is responsible to recruit at your campus and also provide that peer support through the community. And then every faculty and staff at your campus that enters the community would be eligible for the peer incentives. So this is a screen Again, you can go to the project and get to this slide if you are interested. It's just a very simple form that says, just send me an email when the call does go out. It's not a commitment in any way, but just to keep you informed, or just send me an email. I'm the PI and on the contact page. This is a video of one of the faculty commenting on her experiences in the project. And again, since we're tight on time, I want to kind of leave some time for interactive conversation and questions. So I'm going to allow you to go to the website and just activate the video if you'd like. This page is has some comments from participants in the project, and hopefully it'll just kind of run. Not sure, hopefully, if you can read it or not, but it goes through, and the question is the biggest thing that I got out of TOEP. And so some of the comments, I'll just go through 2 or 3 of them, provided an opportunity to think about how I use these tools for my courses. The range and the breadth of the tools available sometimes I think is a little too much. Sometimes each year, one of the hard things is just keeping this current. And so we asked the fellows at the beginning of the year, can you find anything that should be removed, or is there anything new that we haven't added? But there's still a lot out there, and I think that might deter some people from participating because they go to the site and they just see a wealth of information and say, oh, that's too much. They don't realize that they can spend 5 hours over the course of the whole year and complete the project. And through that time, just have a really larger, greater understanding about using technology tools. A greater appreciation for using Web 2.0 tools. Okay, so that's what I have for the presentation. We are still trying to analyze a lot of the information. Because the community responses the conversations became so rich, we've started a second research study to analyze the text in the community. We had to kind of retroactively go back and ask the participants for participation to analyze their text. So we didn't think of that. When we started the project, we said, okay, pre-survey, post-survey, and then we saw what people were sharing in the community, and now we're trying to analyze that. We have a couple, there's one journal article and a chapter up on the site that you can link to. If I can't put those actually up on the site. If you're interested though, send me an email and I can send you the text. So, let's see, there's still about 5 minutes left. I would like to kind of open this up to questions and ask you, how might this enhance your teaching or the faculty development at your institution? I know it's early on Monday. Monday. Lost track of time with the time zone changes.
Well, the photo sharing sounds interesting. If you could just elaborate on that.
Yeah, so the photo sharing is... let me go to the site. That would actually be better. This actually finished through. So if you come to the site and you go down to photo sharing, so in here, swipe the wrong way, try that again. So in photo sharing, we just talk how useful it is for being able to share visuals in relation to whatever it is you're teaching. That applies across any discipline. Then when you go down to the discovery resources, we have links out to Picasa and Flickr. And I think you're actually pointing out probably one of the deficiencies. Google Photo is one of the more popular tools that didn't make it in our cut this year, and it should have. So we don't have tutorials on that, but we do have tutorials on Picasa, Flickr. Pixlr is one of the really great tools if you're familiar with Photoshop. It's a $1,000 license. Pixlr, P-I-X-L-R, is Photoshop on the web. You just use a web browser and you can do 95% of what Photoshop can do. And then we also talk, there's a number of pages on how you can find photos through Creative Commons, through the advanced search in Flickr to instruct students and for faculty to be able to find images that you're legally allowed to use that have a Creative Commons license. Again, there's always new resources through the community. People said, oh, well, did you know about this database that has freely available tools for the New York Public Library and so we're constantly adding. One of the other things we need to do in the project is filter those community texts for the HTTP and find all of those URLs. And at the bottom of each site, each page, we also link out to a Digo and Zotero library. So Digo is a social bookmarking website. And right now we have all of the links that are on the TOEP site in the Digo library organized. So if you just want to go to the photo sharing section and just look at the links, you can go there. But we want to now go back through the community text and all of the URLs that people have shared with us. We want to be able to filter those out and add them to the Digo library. We have a practicum student from the Library Information Studies Department who will be starting in the spring on that very task. In addition to kind of upgrading some of the research articles. So the research section, we've been collecting them over time, but another, really evaluative look. Are there new things that have been published that we missed and didn't put on here? So in relation to photo sharing, in the lifelong learning section and also at the bottom of every page, we have some of those sections that are in the, that are important for everybody to be familiar with. So your digital identity. How do you instruct students and how do faculty and staff know how to protect your own digital identity and how to portray a positive professional image through the web. So that talks about that, and then also Creative Commons is one of the sections that's linked to from the bottom of each page, and also lifelong learning. So here's another way to kind of relate to photo sharing. How do you find those images and make sure you're able to use them? Another question? Yes?
Besides photos, do you also enable the sharing of learning materials?
Through the community. So, well, we also have a section on open educational resources. And that's in lifelong learning and also at the bottom of every page. So there's a number of sites that we point to that faculty can go to, Merlot, and post and share open educational resources. And then also in the community, people are always sharing. So I'm going to open that up. So here somebody was just talking about VoiceThread. And that happens to be one of the tools that's already on the site. But, there's many instances where people are sharing. Did you know about Scribe? Is a tool that I just learned about that I'll be posting to the site when I get back. So yes, faculty can share through the community. And they can also become a member of that Digo or Zotero library and post and share through that. Zotero, if you're not familiar, is a citation management tool, whereas Digo uses more social networking, social websites. Zotero is more for scholarly. So if anybody has one quick question, otherwise I'm going to hand it off to the next presenter. Thank you all very much for getting up this morning and being here. Thank you. Appreciate it.